Hey everyone, welcome back to Glass Seats. This is Viddy.
And my name is Mrinal. And on this episode, we have to talk about the NHL's newest team. The Salt Lake City Not Jazz.
the
Utah
Jazz.
Not Jazz.
Should we discuss some names at the end of this episode?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
feel like we could.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Coyotes, they might be toast.
yeah, so if you guys haven't followed the drama around the NHL's Arizona Coyotes for the past, what's it been, 2 seasons now? 3 seasons?
Yeah, I think 2.
2 seasons. They've been sharing an arena with Arizona State University because they lost their arena out in...
They were evicted, yeah. Hard times.
Out in the suburbs of Phoenix.
Glendale, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, Glendale. And they have been trying to find a home ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So they had one plan to build an arena in Tempe that fell through due to some city ordinance.
Yeah, we talked about that many episodes ago. You could probably find it, yeah.
And now it looks like their last chance to stay in Phoenix is an auction for some land out in Arizona.
Yeah.
That's happening on June 27th.
Mm-hmm.
But if that auction falls through, like their last plan did, then it might be toast for the Coyotes.
I believe, I can't remember who it was, but it was either the CEO or president or someone higher up in the Coyotes organization said, this is it. We have to explore relocation if we fail here. And again, it's the fact that, it failed once that is instilling doubt in the NHL. So
yeah. And now, as of Wednesday, April 10th, there are a lot of reports and a lot of news coming out that the Coyotes have tentatively agreed verbally to a deal with Smith Entertainment Group, owned by Ryan Smith, who is the owner of the NBA's Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And this would be to move the team to Salt Lake City.
And conveniently, he also tweeted out, I think it was a tweet where he kind of he sent out a poll and said, what are some potential names? Like, I want to hear it like straight from the owner. You can call it a coincidence if you want, but not good timing if you're an Arizona fan. So
yeah, and honestly, if Alex Murillo, owner of the Arizona Coyotes, this is kind of, you have to do this, right? Because if your auction doesn't go the way you want it to go, you need a backup. Yeah,
you're screwed. Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, the NHL, I know they've had rightfully so, they've had their issues with hosting NHL teams, both home and away, in a college barn for 3 years. It's not a good look on the league, right? Like, when you have billion-dollar franchises like the Rangers or the Devils or whatever, then you have a team who's just struggling. You can't even fill out a college barn that's 5,000 people, right? It's not a good look. It's really not.
I mean, Arizona hasn't been a great look for the majority of their existence,
unfortunately,
on the NHL, right? And this has nothing to do with Arizona hockey fans.
No.
Those fans have come out. Those
fans are loyal.
They have supported the team.
Yeah.
Hockey in Arizona has already given us superstars like Austin Matthews. And
Clayton Keller would be a phenomenal star if he was in Toronto, Montreal.
There have been careers that should have gotten more recognition. Shane Doan.
Yeah.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson. All should have had more recognition, but they played in Arizona.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
And the ownership there has not given this team a fair chance to succeed
at all. And it's not just that. There was also like some controversy, some foul play, whether it be like, trying to get some of the draft prospects early, or just straight up like fraud and stuff like that. It's just not good.
Yeah.
Not good. Yeah.
Previous general manager John Chayka left in not the greatest of circumstances. It just felt like for years, any story coming out of Arizona wasn't positive.
No. And rightfully so, fans are sick of it. And at this point, it sounds like the NHL is sick of it too. What do you think is the likeliness this actually happens? Because at first I thought, they were going to seal a deal on this $3-4 billion auction. But, with the backlash from the Scottsdale mayor and now this writing on the wall, it's not looking good in my opinion.
Honestly, I can't call it either way, because even if they do get the land, right, it's going to be a few years before you have a stadium ready.
Yeah, they're still going to have to spend 3-4 years in a college barn. Still not a great look.
And Arizona State University straight up doesn't want them there.
I understandably so too. It's your friend that just kind of hangs out on the couch. Like, sure, he might be like whatever accomplished and stuff. You're just like, all right, buddy, how's the LinkedIn job interviews going?
The Coyotes are your unemployed friend.
Yes, unfortunately, yes, they are. Are they not?
They're just crashing on the NHL's couch.
Yes, and it's costing everyone money and just fucking, just drinking all day and just whatever, hanging out and just, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, people are like reaching the breaking point.
It's not trying to be better. That's the biggest thing that bothers.
I think that's the
teams,
perfect summary of Arizona. Actually, it's the fact that there's been no attempt to just generally improve the franchise at all whatsoever. so they've had to revert to minor things like fashion and like nostalgia, and like they've done a lot of streetwear collabs and stuff, but like that's putting a band-aid on a gushing wound, right?
Yeah.
It's not fixing anything. So the time has come, unfortunately.
And, they've been existing as the league's dumping ground for long-term injured reserve.
That too. I forgot about that.
We complain so much about teams that overspend the cap, right? You hear it about Vegas, you hear it about Tampa, you hear it about Toronto.
Yeah.
But Arizona
struggles to meet the floor.
Yeah, barely makes the floor and uses these contracts that are on injured reserve to do so.
Yeah.
Where they don't have to pay real money because those contracts are insured, or it's because there's a difference between salary and cap hit, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of players in the NHL, if you're not unfamiliar, especially older players, the last few years of their deal, they'll be paid very little salary. But the way the NHL calculates salary cap, it's an average over the length of the whole deal.
Yeah.
So that means if you get an aging player at the end of his deal, you are paying them very little money, but you get the cap hit.
Yeah.
So this is why you see players right at the end shipped off to Arizona, because they get the cap hit, they can make the cap floor, and they don't have to actually pay these players that much.
Yeah. Quite literally just a dumpster for old contracts that nobody wants anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that what your franchise is? That's what you let your franchise become?
Even to the point that at some point in their existence, the NHL owned the Coyotes.
Yeah, I remember this.
To save them from relocation.
Yeah.
And like, we've been just kicking this can down the road with Arizona, right? Yeah. And it has nothing to do with the market. It has nothing to do with the fans. It's just, they never had the right mix of an owner.
I wouldn't even want to say, like, I'm glad you mentioned the fans part, because Arizona State, the university, their hockey team is electric. That barn fills out. Honestly, I feel like the barn fills out more.
That team doesn't want an NHL team around.
Yeah.
Like,
you see the problem here,
That's
right?
insane,
you see the problem, yeah. And
imagine in any other sport, like UCLA tells the Chargers to not play in their stadium.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's just batshit crazy. Yeah. And I honestly, I want to say I can't believe it's gotten to this point, but with the way things have dragged on for so long, it was time. It was time. And the actual stadium construction and the apartments and whatever, this whole plaza idea that they have, and if they even win the bid, it's like what, $3-4 billion. It just,
and how many years? Like, if it's going to take another 3-4 years, you're going to be in ASU for that long.
Yeah, construction. Let's be real. Construction just, it has delays. Things take a while. It's again, it's not a good look that they're playing at a college barn. It's just so much easier to move a hockey team, a literal winter sport, to a winter wonderland in Utah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It's just,
and I think it's also crazy that there's an owner willing to take the Coyotes, right?
Yeah.
Let's be real. The team is kind of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've seen in the past couple years, it's better to have an expansion team.
Yes.
So the fact that you found someone willing to take the Coyotes, I think is...
That's a huge, the
take
NHL,
the out, man.
Yeah,
take the out.
Yeah, NHL cannot ignore that. You got to know when to cash out, and this seems like the time.
Like, if I was in Ryan Smith's position, I would have been like, no, fold the team. I'll pay the expansion fee and get a brand new team with much better draft rules. Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that might be why markets like Houston have not been interested in the Coyotes. A second team in Toronto, all these other things you hear about every time we talk about expansion, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Smith is stepping up and saying, I'll take them.
Yeah. And that's what I really think that's what the Coyotes need. An owner that honestly gives a fuck.
Like,
they just need an owner that cares.
What is the actual distance from Phoenix to Las Vegas?
Not much at all. Yeah.
So don't tell me it's about location.
Yeah. Desert hockey has worked fantastically when they've had people that actually cared about the team.
And an owner that from day one has said, I want a championship in 6 years.
Yep. They had a goal. They committed to it. This team is committing to just hitting the salary floor.
Yeah. Just existing for the sake of existing.
Yeah. Literally in a different league. I mean, in the same NHL, but like in a different league entirely in terms of priorities. And things need to change. What I do want to ask is, you think they're going to keep the Coyotes branding? Because Utah Coyotes still technically does make sense. Salt Lake City Coyotes is a lot of words. I don't see that happening.
I think he has said that he would name the team Utah because he owns the Utah Jazz. It would not be the Salt Lake City anything.
Yeah, I don't like it's just a lot of words. It seems like every NHL team, even if it's like Red Wings, Detroit is still one word, right?
Yeah,
Tampa Bay
three
Lightning.
words max.
Yeah, you got 3 words.
San Jose
Vegas,
Sharks.
Yeah, Vegas Golden Knights. It's not the Las Vegas Golden Knights, right? Like, that's 4 words. You get 3 words max. I think it's going to be Utah something. I would like to see the Coyotes just be rebranded as a whole. But I see them just kind of being done with this in terms of like the history of all of it. I think I just see them being done with it all.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be those cool old guys walking around in Coyotes jerseys.
Dude, I'm going to get the one before the Kachina, like the
Howling Coyote?
The Howling Coyote. Oh, badass.
Yeah.
So sick. Yeah.
You know, the same way we look at people wearing Hartford jerseys right now.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be like.
Dude, that's what I never understood. I was like, y'all hated on the Howling Head Coyotes way too much. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You overhyped the Kachina so much. Like, it's a cool, like the reverse retros were cool and all, both of them. But man, you didn't give the Howling Head enough credit.
The Kachina should have stayed as an alt.
It should have. Hot take, but it should have.
That's a Glass Seats take right there.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and dislike the video.
All right. You wanted to end this video on some potential names.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I did see the Utah Yeti going around.
Don't the Colorado already have that?
That's what I was wondering. I was like, that's too close to Colorado, and you know the Avalanche did retire the Bigfoot logo. I think it was right.
Yeah. Did they retire that logo?
They retired that.
Oh, wow.
Which is unfortunate because it grew on me quite a lot. I really wish that was still the case. In a perfect world, I would like them to at least keep the Coyotes and like kind of rebrand it a little bit, like completely reimagine it, looks-wise and everything. But yeah, I feel like they should. Obviously, it's got to be something relevant to Utah. I apologize. I don't really know too much about Utah, the state itself. So it's hard to say, but like Utah like Sunset or something like that. I don't know, like something that has to do with like nature or like the national parks of it all. It would be really cool to incorporate some of that in somehow. So,
well, they have the Utah Jazz. Why not stay in the music genre?
Well, that was the New Orleans Jazz that moved to Utah, right?
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
I feel like they should rebrand that too. That doesn't make sense in Utah at all.
Stay with the music genre. Why not be the Utah Blues? Oh wait.
Whoops.
Yikes.
The Utah pop punk. The Utah deathcore.
Just get more and more obscure.
Yeah.
Utah ska.
The Utah Raw XD. Yeah.
No, Utah Raw XD.
The Utah Hot Topics.
Okay, we're just giving them too many California names.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're saving that for when like Central California gets a team or something, or like San Diego gets a pro team.
Yeah.
That can be the San Diego XDs.
And the Pismo Beach Mom jeans, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a crossover I wasn't expecting today.
Yeah. Reddit, you're going to love this one.
Why not?
But yeah, no, that's where I'm at in terms of branding.
Why not keep the Coyotes nickname, the Utah Desert Dogs?
I don't know. Cool nickname, but I just don't think it works in terms of like official like branding. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know. It's like Bolts. Like, come on. We call them the Lightning. We don't call them the Bolts, right? Like,
I guess. It's
silly.
All right. My last contribution.
Okay.
Utah Werewolves.
That's sweet. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Keep all the moon imagery that they already have. The Kachina would fit too.
Honestly, I like that more. That is what I mean by reimagine the Coyotes. That is sweet. Yeah. That's okay. That's our winner right there.
Utah Werewolves.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Ryan Smith, that's our contribution to your poll.
Yeah. We don't have Twitter, but we don't have X, but that's our contribution. So
if you have any other names for the new Utah team, drop them in the comments below and hit like on this episode.
Yep.
Hit subscribe if you want more of Glass Seats. We got 3 episodes out every week. We're also on Instagram @Glass Seats Show is the handle. You can follow us there. We'll see you next episode.
Bye.